Cheese.
Welcome to Rimworld. Anomaly is here, and so am I. In fact, I was so excited to get to work that I raced to install a new hard drive just to capture all this footage for you. I'm going to tell you a tale of 3 mad scientists who have learned of a strange material called bioferrite is hidden on this planet. Wait, what? Hazzor beat me to it? No way! Oh, come on, I spent so long working on this. Come on, man. Allow me to introduce you to our main characters. Luna, the scientist, Yeehaw, the muscle, and Voxel, the builder. Together, these 3 are going to build a secure laboratory to study and contain all the strange anomalies on this planet. We're off to a good start, gathering up the wreckage, when Luna calls Voxel a ferret. Apparently, she's a misandrist and isn't the most enthused about the men nearby. Hopefully that won't be an issue later on, as there's much important work to be done. For the time being, we'll take refuge in this dilapidated structure until we can start carving the marble needed to build our containment facility. As night falls, Voxel discovers a fallen monolith, the very artifact the group intends to study. After the 3 draw straws, it is Yeehaw who goes to make first contact. The monolith is warm to his touch, and there's a faint hum echoing inside his brain. A black shape forms in his mind, and Yeehaw chooses to continue studying the building. Sparks fly, a dark fog forms around the structure until a tentacled explosion forces Yeehaw to run away. The true form of the monolith is revealed, and the anomaly has been awakened. There's an entirely new path of research to be had. Luna rather ominously refers to it as dark science, much to Voxel's uncomfort. Yeehaw doesn't care. He's busy collecting himself while all the visions of the monolith slowly fade from his psyche. And with that, we begin planning the containment facility to house the inevitable horrors that come drawn to the monolith. Voxel dreams up symmetrical chambers lit with ultra-white LEDs and chilled to near freezing to keep the creatures sedated. 4 beautiful containment cells locked up tight. Luna is inspired by Voxel's blueprints and decides to name this place Site 001 of the Mortis Foundation. She has high expectations for this group, apparently. We have our first raid, a waster named Cletus. Yeehaw and Luna are pretty good shots, and Voxel finishes him off with his plasteel knife, happily taking that beautiful flak jacket as a prize. A valuable defensive layer, to be sure. Work begins on the bunkhouse, where the research team will sleep comfortably after it's completed. For now, however, we rough it in the old ruins. The final bed is placed in the bunkhouse, giving everyone their own personal place to sleep. A much-needed respite after spending the last 13 days so close to each other. It's no time for a break, though, because Voxel has many, many more marble bricks to cut. Construction on the mess hall is next. The first harvest of rice is almost ready, and we need a place to store and cook it. The team has no idea what kind of food anomalous monsters eat, so better safe than sorry. Rice it is. A drifter named Yetzhov joins. She wants to stay at our colony for a while and rest before moving on. Almost immediately, she picks a social fight with Yeehaw, which is a very bad move considering this absolute fridge of a man completely bodies her in seconds. What a shame, Yetzhov. It looks like you're headed off into the Foundation's very first prison cell. The monolith allows itself to be pondered once more, and Luna is excited to get to work on her dark studies. Visions of eldritch deities and the endless void consume her mind until a breakthrough. Bioferrite. The team was right. It's an abundant supply here. Luna is ecstatic. She learns it can be harvested from the anomalous entities. Hopefully the laboratory will be completed soon. She's getting itchy to test it out. Another waster raid. They're no match for the teamwork of this crew. Voxel takes advantage of his new flak jacket, protected from bullets, and once again downs the attacker with his iconic plasteel knife. Now that the storage room is wrapped up, the essentials for long-term survival are finished. We're good. We're chilling, mostly. It's finally time to build the containment facility. Voxel gets right to work. Well. What have we here? A shambler wanders into the colony, idly drifting near the edges of our borders. After some observation, Luna believes she can find a way to draw shamblers out at will. Another project for another day, certainly. We're still working on entity containment, so not much can be done about the zombie yet. Luna takes it on with her revolver, and it drops a massive, evil shard of darkness. Strange. We take it back for study. A frantic man enters our colony, offering to join if he can hide from some man-hunting foxes. His name is Moth, and is a pretty good socialite. Yeehaw agrees to let him stay. Welcome, Moth, we're happy to have you. A short while later, literally everyone has gotten food poisoning. Moth volunteers to study cooking in the eventual hope this colony can prepare rice in a way that won't make you sick to the stomach. Everyone agrees to let Moth be the chef, as nobody here really likes to cook, and it shows. The ground not far from the colony begins to shake and rumble. A cavern opens up from beneath the earth, and disgusting fleshy masses emerge with hunger in their eyes. Yeehaw is caught out in the open. Luna tries to assist, but the creatures are far too fast for her revolver. Yeehaw's sprinting towards Moth, hoping his new flame bow will buy them precious escape time. The flesh beasts catch him in the legs, forcing blunt swinging of his rifle. Yeehaw cries out for Moth to assist, who, in the panic, releases a flame arrow on a direct hit into Yeehaw's left arm. He is now on fire, desperately trying to stop the burning. Thankfully, Luna dead-eyes one flesh beast, and Moth curb stomps the second. Everyone is sent to rest except Luna, who goes to fill the hole in the ground. They were not prepared for this. Crisis averted, for now. A ghoul has wandered in. It stalks us just outside of view. As it approaches, everyone is fascinated. Luna will discover a massive treasure trove of valuable data from this ghoul. As they gather around to take on the monster, its resilience shows great promise. Perhaps there's a way to harness this power, to create regenerating super soldiers making an implacable march to tear our enemies apart, limb from limb. Unfortunately, the recording died as the ghoul was defeated, so here she is, sitting incapacitated in front of our rec room, out in the open. Their natural regeneration is astounding, so we'll just let her lie in the rain as Voxel puts a hurry on her first containment chamber. He takes the cold, pale monster in his arms and chains her up onto the platform. Thankfully, the ghoul is no match for Luna's restrictive designs. At last, the containment facility is complete. Under the dim fluorescent light, Voxel studies the ghoul. Her name, at some point, is Loretta, and there's much dark knowledge to be gained. Voxel makes careful note of all her movements, blood samples, and agitations, handing over the clipboard to give to Luna for study. With the prototype safely contained, the colony gets to work on expanding the living quarters. The left half can be used for medical beds, a separate and sterile environment so we don't have to bleed all over our bedrooms. It's a long project, so Voxel and Luna enjoy a nice game of horseshoes in the rain before bed. To each their own, I guess, however you want to relax. While studying the ghoul, Luna discovers a way to extract bioferrite from its bloodstream. She blueprints a bioferrite harvester and tells the boys to build it. It starts working like a charm, piping the dark blood in and out of the ghoul's system and collecting the molecules of bioferrite therein. It seems to cause pain, but there's no imminent threat of a containment breach. It's been quiet for too long. A raiding party from the Mad Partners enter Site-001, intent on causing trouble. There's blood in their eyes, so our colonists assume their positions of self-defense. Yeehaw and Luna miss most of their first shots at the raiders, so Voxel runs into CQB combat. He ties up the raiders in melee while the rest take some more prepared shots. Moth absolutely nails a raider with the flame arrow, and Luna point blank executes the last one alive. Yeehaw isn't much of a fan of her brutality. Something has changed about Luna, and he's starting to take notice. The battle was a success, but Voxel's right leg was entirely cut off in the skirmish. A knife cut, it seems. Gross. We can't have him hopping around on one leg for the rest of his life, so a peg leg must be installed. Luna gets right to work and saves him from bleeding out. At last, a breakthrough! We begin research on ghoul infusion. The scientists here at the Mortis Foundation have unanimously agreed upon their first project, converting captured raiders into ghouls for an army. It's an inhumane process that requires a dark shard to be shoved straight into the nervous system. It dulls the senses, wipes most brain functions, and ensures total subservience. It's time to build a prison. What's this? A new anomaly wandering in. It's called a Gorehulk, and we assume defensive positions. It goes down without a fight and is carried to one of our new containment chambers. Luna repairs the damage done to its body. Site-001 now has its second research project. A second ghoul is drawn to the lights of the Foundation, and we stand waiting once more, hungry to get our hands on a second prototype. The fight is a bit of a struggle, especially with Moth's friendly fire, but we get the situation handled and the new ghoul contained. Moth is on capturing duty this time and gets the bioferrite harvester up and running. The Foundation's research has doubled in speed now that there are 2 ghouls to study. Luna is confident she will have the ghoulification process readied soon. The prisoners have no idea what she has in store for them. For now, things at the colony are going quite smoothly. Voxel, Yeehaw, Moth, and Luna have a few days to work on their personal tasks and enjoy fried rice. It's been 1 year since they first landed here with the intent to build their own research facility, and it's quite something everyone is proud of by this point. Even the misandrist Luna is growing quite content here. Moth takes care of the site's first prisoner while the others work to advance the tech tree. Construction begins on a wall around Site 001. Yeehaw is tired of being vulnerable from all directions, so Voxel designs a specific route for raiders to follow. We aren't sure if anomalies will behave the same way, but this should at least work for the other humanoids. Speaking of which, undead shamblers sneak their way in once more. The team assumes their regular positions, but Yeehaw loses an eye in the skirmish. Gross. Not too long after, the Gore Hulk tries to make a break for it. Luna shoots open the cell door and everyone starts taking shots at the monster. It's an easy scrap. Yeehaw safely returns the beast to its holding cell. During routine study, Moth accidentally triggers a change in the monolith. It explodes with dark energies into its second form, larger and more imposing. Luna doesn't like the look of this. She's concerned about what kinds of new creatures could be drawn to its power. The minute she starts telling the team, the ground shakes, a tremor unlike anything they've felt before. Through the binoculars, Yeehaw can see it. A massive sinkhole has opened outside the colony with more flesh beasts leaping out of it. They're stronger this time, new life forms, some with large claws, and others able to split into multiple children upon death. A stranger named Grit assists with defeating the monsters and requests to join. The team accepts any new help they can get. Luna, Moth, and Yeehaw decide to take a trip down into the sinkhole. It's disgusting in here, nearly inducing vomiting in everyone. They get to work, popping the cysts that seem to be infesting the ground with flesh mass. Moth explores deeper, using his bow to set the vulnerable sinews aflame. Luna and Yeehaw team up with their ballistics on the other side. Moth is reveling in his ease of cleaning the flesh, but the cave is getting warmer and warmer. They're sweating. They're going to have to leave soon or risk heat stroke. A few more masses destroyed when a sudden rumbling from the west wall. A dread meld has emerged. It's the largest flesh beast the team has ever seen, and they aren't prepared for it in the slightest. We book it out of the cave, hoping it doesn't follow. Grit is a traitor. While feeding the prisoners, he decided to attempt mutiny and rally them to escape. Unfortunately for him, our captives are so loyal to us that they take him on themselves. The crew heads up to clean the situation, and Grit joins the ranks in the prison barracks for his insurrection. Luna smiles, proudly. Another body for our ghoul army. A few more attempts are made at the Dread Meld, but none seem to work. Even with incendiary launchers, the flesh is too strong. For now. Perhaps there's an easier way. Crafted from the bioferrite harvested by our specimens, Luna dons a ritual mask. She has become the de facto leader of Site 001, and her dread visage now reflects it. It will give her a bonus to any rituals she tries. It's an intimidating feature. Well, would you look at that? It's prison break. In the middle of the night, no less. The team gets to work on defending the site, being careful not to slay any of their future army. The ne'er-do-wells get put back into their timeout corner to think about what they've done. But the weirdness doesn't stop there. A group of unknown cultists appear outside our walls, chanting some incoherent nonsense. Yeehaw decides the risk of whatever they're doing isn't worth leaving them alive, so the group attacks. You know, for as much as they've suffered, the team is getting quite good at defending themselves. Voxel decides the crew needs more firepower. Between the flesh beasts below, the larger raids, and the ever-increasing presence of anomalous monsters, the Mortis Foundation needs new guns. He's been working tirelessly on custom weapons for each member, and they've neared completion. The last weapon is Luna's LMG, which comes out as a masterwork. Voxel names it Luna's Cannibal and inscribes it with hand-carved art. It says it bears a description of, quote, Luna conducting experiments seeking to understand the secrets of the flesh beasts while consulting an ancient tome. To be frank, that's so hilarious that I just had to ask Midjourney to show me what he somehow drew on the wooden buttstock of an LMG. I love Rimworld. God. Voxel calls everyone into the shop, and the team equips their new armaments. Feeling confident, we go down to attack the Dreadmeld once more. Oh, it starts off excellently. There's enough firepower to slay each incoming beast, but the team didn't count on the Dreadmeld multiplying itself. Another narrow escape has to be made, and they leave in frustration. Yeehaw is pissed that it didn't work again. Wait, what's this? The cave is collapsing. Apparently, having been wounded so severely from the new firearms, the Dreadmelt just kinda bled out while everyone was escaping to the surface. Without its hive mind of flesh supporting the cavern's weight, it collapses in on itself, sealing away the hole forever. Problem solved. We've stockpiled several prisoners by this point, and the time to create our ghoul army is nearly upon us. The Foundation needs a storage chamber to hold the experiments, so Voxel gets right to work on his designs. A holding pen, a surgery room, and nutrition storage. Everything they'll ever mathematically need will be right here. The crew is getting itchy. The day of transformation is nearly here. Just a few more things to get ready. Luna has a grim idea. Her ritual mask has been amplifying her anomalous conditions for several weeks now. She desires one more prisoner, one more ghoul for the army. The team agrees with excitement. Everyone is buzzing. Inside the containment facility is a ritual site, painted from the biopheric blood of the captured experiments. The Mortis Foundation is attempting a ritual Yeehaw has named Skip Abduction, where a random humanoid from the planet will be instantly teleported to the circle. Voxel waits with expectation in his eyes as Luna conducts the seance. Well, what do you know? It worked flawlessly. Off to prison you go. It's time. It's finally time. Voxel still has work to do, but Luna can't wait any longer. She grabs a dark shard and begins surgery on the first prisoner she sees. The captives watch on with horror as she sedates him and cuts open the torso. She gently inserts the dark shard into his rib cage, between the lungs, and finally removes the heart. The unconscious prisoner seizes like Frankenstein's monster, only for a moment, and rests. The nervous system acclimates to the shard as the new bioferrite heart begins pumping into the bloodstream. It's done. Site-001's first ghoulification was a resounding success. It walks through the blood rain and begins feasting on the raw meat we prepared for it. It follows every order without question. It doesn't need sleep, it doesn't need medicine, it doesn't speak. A totally subservient soldier, unable to feel pain, and capable of regenerating wounds faster than any human ever could. Everyone is proud. Time to continue. One by one, everyone is taken into the ghoul chamber surgery bed, and one by one, each prisoner meets their fate, greeted by one of the 3 scientists of the Mortis Foundation. As they work their dark experiments, the prisoners agree with resolution that this is the fate they deserve for attacking innocent scientists. 4 ghouls now stand in the site's holding pen, causing no trouble and munching on raw flesh. Voxel can imagine it to be an enviable life, much like a house cat. Speaking of whom, Voxel rushes over to complete his own experiments. He's crafting a variety of biological upgrades for the army. Spiked armor for protection, faster regenerating organs, and acidic sacs used to spray poison on their enemies. Work takes several days, but we have time. Plenty of time. The collection is almost complete. Each of these ghouls are soon to be outfitted with the strongest biological upgrades Voxel can craft, and will then be put to the test. So much investment into these 5 warriors. Yeehaw is confident, but Luna has a silent but growing concern on how well they can stand up to bullets. Time will tell. Since ghouls can only follow orders, the crew has affectionately nicknamed each one. Dear viewers, the science team at the Mortis Foundation would like to introduce you to their latest success project. Hacks, Bishop, Soup, Snurp, and Axe. While we wait for all the upgrades to be finished, the crew realizes that, in all of their focused efforts, things have gotten pretty safe here at Site-001. Plenty of food, no intruders, safe borders, no disease or famine. We've done pretty well for ourselves since the crash landing. Many would still consider a diet of fried rice and corn to be roughing it, but they're quite comfy. We've built a good settlement. It's time to plan our first retaliation. You want to send raiders to us? Fine. We'll send them right back to you. Yeehaw and Voxel decide it's only natural for Luna to lead the first charge. She rearms her LMG, gathers up her pets, and heads to the nearest settlement for an attack. A solid colony, but a vulnerable one. Wood, exposed farmland, no walls, a few turrets. They notice the army and file out of the buildings, but no one knows the horror that's about to befall them. The anomalous army rolls up and hides in the ruins of a church. Luna peeks out, shoots her LMG to draw their attention, hoping the melee fighters will come out first. It does indeed, it draws the crowd, so she orders the ghouls to attack. A one target at a time strategy should do the trick. Bishop and Snurp spew corrosive acid at the enemies, causing massive damage, but they're getting riddled with bullets. Luna hides behind the wall of flesh as she just unloads the gun to assist her pets. More acid, more arrows, more bullets. Some of the enemies have fallen, but the ghouls are starting to look worse for wear. Luna's in a cold sweat. She's getting anxious. This might not be working. It may not be enough. These people could kill her. An acid spray accidentally hits Axe in the splash, and he goes down, the first ghoul out of commission. The attrition odds are still looking okay, but the dogpiling strategy isn't working anymore. They've flanked the ghouls, and there's more healthy enemies right behind the lines. Still shots being fired. The arrows are infuriating. Luna screams. Snurp is the first of her pets to die. She continues volley after volley of LMG fire, injuring many as the ghouls try to finish them off. It's working. It's working. There's a few left, but Hax and Axe are down. Luna calls them back to her, crawling to a retreat. She's performing emergency field medicine, and Bishop and Snurp are ordered to attack the archers. In a rage, Luna charges forward with reckless abandon, no longer hiding behind her experiments, but instead protecting them like a mother. Like poetry, she point blanks her custom-engraved machine gun into the first archer, but he's resilient. Bishop chomps down into the ribs, and finally, she finishes him off. Everyone's afraid. They're starting to retreat. They abandon their colony, but refuse to go down without a fight. More backup is here, catching Luna from behind. She doesn't see it coming and misses her chance to protect. Soup dies under her care. Bishop immediately slays the killer in cold vengeance. They're finally retreating. They run straight past the recovering ghouls, screaming in fear. Luna orders Bishop to finish off the survivors as she runs to tend to the injured. It was a hard-fought battle. One of the most brutal experiences Luna has ever had. But not because of the gore, no. Despite her cold exterior, Luna has acquired a fondness for her pets. Voxel's house cat metaphor wasn't too far off after all. Seeing Snurp and Soup go down in battle was a tragedy, inspiring her blind rage. Hax and Bishop are meandering back over to their room while Luna carries Axe in her arms. Thankfully, their bodies will recover quickly. At last, the question has been answered. Can you successfully raid with 5 ghouls? Of course you can. They're mindless, subservient zombies with a resistance to just about everything. But when you develop a bond to your experiments, when you name them, feed them, travel with them, it can lead to tactical errors led by emotion over strategy. Yeehaw and Voxel listen intently to the story she regales them with. Everyone is proud of what they've done. It's no small feat. And yet, there's still plenty more to do. If you'd like the Mortis Foundation to try an experiment, well, you know how to contact them. Until next time.